Alright guys, JB here. I'm here to do a video about the Craftsman Truck Series race at Las Vegas. A lot of people have been talking across the internet. It's kind of a big topic right now about Kyle Busch winning the truck race, and I just want to give my opinion on it. Kyle Busch is not a popular guy. Everybody knows that. But Kyle Busch can drive the hell out of anything he drives. Don't matter what it is. His competitiveness, his passion. I know my buddy Rusty was talking about it, and he was asking questions about how Kyle was so faster than everybody else and this and that. Well, to me, I'm just gonna give my opinion on this. First of all, he's got an established truck team. He's got 2 or 3 trucks that races every week. They're top notch. Probably they are the Joe Gibbs Racing of the Truck Series, and they've just got everything set together. He can bring his cup team over to pit for him. He just got the trucks are perfect for Kyle Busch, and I think he would probably win just about every race all year if he ran the full season. Now, let me tell you guys this about a trend that I noticed a trend last year with Kyle. Whenever he was racing the trucks and Xfinity, he done super good in the Cup Series. But once he quit doing that, his Cup Series started falling back a little bit there for a while. It took him a while to get back in the groove before the playoffs there. So Kyle's kind of like a momentum guy. Daytona hurt him. It killed his momentum. So by him running this truck race and winning it, he's got the momentum now. He knows he can get the job done, and I think he'll be pretty stout come Sunday. But with that all said, let's just go back to the series and how it's hurting the series. If you're a Kyle Busch fan, you'll go to it. But a lot of people's going to look at these races and say, hey, why should I go spend, $100 to watch Kyle Busch win this race? I think a lot of it has to do about NASCAR. It needs to change a little bit of the rules around. And let's talk about the past now. If you go back to the past, you take a look at Darrell Walter, Dale Earnhardt, Martin Martin, some of these guys that run a lot of the Busch Series back in, whenever they was in a Cup Series, they would go drive, but it wouldn't be for their own team or a big major team. It'd be kind of, say, like a medium impact team. And they weren't as competitive. They would lose these races. Like finish Harry Gant. Harry Gant run tons of Busch races and finished 5th, 10th. But he was in a lower equipment. He was just trying to help somebody out. Nowadays, standards is they bring their cup teams over, and they got a big advantage. I'm just doing this on behalf of what I think about it. I think if another 6 or 7 Cup drivers would have been in that truck race tonight at Las Vegas and brought their own equipment and stuff, like Brad Keselowski owned his trucks and stuff. If they would have had that, I think you would have seen closer competition. You'd had 7 or 8 people trying to go for the victory instead of Kyle. Now, like I said, if they did not have stages, Kyle Busch would have lapped the whole field tonight without a caution. That's how good he was. And if you really paid close attention, the first 5 or 6 laps, that truck, he would let people hang with him, but because he's so loose and they know how to dial a camber in that truck and all this stuff, and to get it for the long run, because after about 20 laps, he was a rocket. He was gone. And that's what I expect Sunday with the Toyotas. Like Eric Jones said in the race, he said, we're not that great in speed, but we're going to be just fine on the long run. So that's what I expect to see what happens. And Kyle Busch is not a luck guy, but whenever you're not a luck guy, that's a good thing because you're winning. And like my buddy Rusty was saying, you couldn't feel the atmosphere, and I knew what he was saying. You could tell the atmosphere wasn't there because everybody knew who was going to win. And obviously it declined the audience too. But this has been going on for years now. They've cut them down to 5 races. Personally, I think the guy should be allowed to run how many he wants. That's just my opinion, and I agree with Rusty. I think the other drivers need to step up. They need to drive harder. They need to maybe lay a bumper to him and say, hey, man, you're coming in our world. You're in a truck series now. Lay a bumper to him. Say, this ain't the Cup Series. You know, you got to have that. And but there's not as many Cup owners or people owning these big teams, you know. Like Joe Gibbs, for instance. You know, Kyle Busch owns all them trucks. No, Jack Roush is Richard Childers used to field a couple, but I don't even think he does no more. I don't think the two was him. It might have been. You know, just people just ain't involved in it. Sponsors ain't involved in it no more. If you go back 10 years ago and look at the sponsorship, you'd see big fancy sponsors on these trucks. Now, you know, you see one or two here and there. So it's definitely changed the sport, and I think Xfinity is still good, you know, in terms of that. They've got good quality drivers in there, but and plus, you know, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, people that retired from the Cup Series would go run the Truck Series for 5 or 6 years, and the competitiveness was there. You had 7 or 8 trucks that could win every week. I hate to say it, but this year I think you're going to see a big 3 of the Truck Series, with 2 or 3 of them winning about all the races. The competition ain't there. People's way too slow. You know, I was watching a replay of the race a while ago, and I noticed after about 10 laps, people was 14 seconds behind. I'm like, ain't gonna cut the cake. So, tell me what you guys think below of this. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with Kyle Busch racing in the trucks. A lot of people do, but I don't, because I think, you know, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And these teams have just got to step up the programs and get more aggressive, and you know, whatever they got to do. It is that if you're going to run in the Cup Series, you got to prove yourself by beating the man in the Truck Series. I know it's hard to do with the equipment they got, but Matt Crafton, he's in really great equipment, but he, you know, it is what it is with him. He's either going to show up to win or he's going to wreck. So, but yeah, I know it's tough, but we got 4 more races, guys. Once Kyle wins these next 4, then get the Truck Series back to normal. Obviously, he's going to do Xfinity too. We'll see what happens with that. So, go on from there. But, you know, I'm just in the video making a move tonight, and I feel like doing it. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We'll get the Pick 5 contest. Like everybody below. And we're a big NASCAR community. Everybody's stuck together with Ryan Newman there. And it's just let's just hope for good racing. You know, everybody knows I'm a huge Truex fan. I don't want to see him win every week. I want to see good quality racing. So the Truck Series was disappointing tonight at Las Vegas. I agree with a lot of people. So on from there, we'll go on. So yeah, we'll see you guys later, and everybody have a good one.